All right, good evening. Good evening. This is Nicole Johnson reporting from Jerusalem from it's day 20 of the US Israel war with Iran. And guess what? Things just got a little stickier, just got a little wider. The war that was already spreading across 15 nations has now added an entirely new geographic center. So we're going to look at the map. We're going to try to get some information. This is breaking news just now. I just tried to Google this and find out, I searched online, but Israel just announced that it attacked, according to Israeli news, that it attacked Iranian ships in the Caspian Sea, not the Persian Gulf, not the Strait of Hormuz, not where all of the focus had been for for the last 20 days. No, now the focus is north, and it opens up an entirely new part of the world to possibly be dragged into this war. Now we're talking like Central Asia. Now, I'm not warmongering that the Central Asian nations might actually be drawn into this war. I don't think so. If already Azerbaijan and Turkey have not been drawn into this war, then I don't think that it means that suddenly Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan and all of them will come into the war. But this has been a big day. I don't even have my notebook. Where's my notebook? Anybody see my notebook? It's been a big day. Every day I wake up, and especially in the beginning, like you open your phone and no longer does it go on airplane mode because you want to know if if there are sirens or if there's alerts you need to know. So now the phone is like on all night. It's on silent, but it's on. Because, by the way, if you're getting a rocket alert, it doesn't, even if it's on silent, your phone will blare with this blood curdling ring and jar you out of any form of sleep or peace. So anyway, so the phone stays on all night, but when you wake up in the morning, there's a bunch of unread messages. And especially at the beginning of the war, it would take me about 2 hours to go through all of the channels that I follow, like with news updates. So that was already like this huge thing. And then honestly, it tapered off. But it only gets trickier and more complicated, and now geographically even wider than it has been. All right. So anyway, I am going to start showing you a map. We're going to go to the map. Oh, I don't even have a map open. Let's see. I got to go to maps and then you guys will see. Hey, Tammy, thank you for joining. What's happening in Texas? I know you like somewhere over there, you guys are getting tornadoes, right? All right. So I'm going to take you over to the Caspian Sea. Oh, hello, Carol and John. How are you guys? I also have to say, and I'm going to say this many times during this broadcast, but I just interviewed an Iranian expat who has been living overseas for only a couple of years and who is extremely involved in researching what is going on with the regime. His father was an activist in Iran and jailed. He was imprisoned and tortured and everything. Anyway, his name is Khosrow Isfahani. He now lives in the U.S., but I just interviewed him, and I cannot wait to air this for you guys because I was blown away. Like an hour went by like that. Like I could have asked him 100 more questions. Like he was so full of information that I never names and history. He was so well spoken, and it was so fascinating. I think you guys are really going to appreciate it. He really gave fabric to a lot of what we have been speaking about on these broadcasts. Like, we've been speaking about the what's going to happen with the regime, how the Israeli strategies of targeted assassinations, plus now drone attacks on besieged units, how that is impacting the strength of the regime, like where it stands now, and if it's going to last. Like, and he explained it all, guys, everything. I finally got to ask all my questions. That, I give a lot of information here, but I really also have to um give you the nuance. Like, I also have to say, but I don't know, and I'm not sure, and I cannot verify everything because I don't have the resources to do that. So he really gave a lot more depth to a lot of the reports that I've been giving of things that I've sourced and I've heard, but he knows it from the ground. So it's amazing. So anyway, let's see. And hey, Dottie, thank you for joining. And oh, I see. Okay, there were tornadoes last week. Yeah, because people were commenting, that this was happening. But okay, so hopefully that's passed. We're having a typical March here, which means it is one day really hot and amazing, and you're like, oh my gosh, finally spring is coming, and then suddenly it's freezing, and then it's windy, and now suddenly we have like now it's raining, and I'm just like, what? Like, anyway, March is crazy. All right, so let's go look at a map, because honestly, I don't have all that much I can tell you about this. Hold on. How do I want this? I want it like this. There we go. There we go. Okay. I can't tell you much, because guess what? The news just broke, and it was the end of the news cycle here. And all they had was more or less a headline, and maybe Tony will help me remember if they had more than that. All right, so here, guys, this is the Caspian Sea right here. You can see on the east, or on the left, no, on the west or the left is Azerbaijan, and Georgia. Is this? I gotta go in closer. Georgia's just inside, huh? So no, but here, who's this? Oh, Russia. Got it. Okay. Georgia's only on the Black Sea. They don't stretch from sea to shining sea. Michal would be very upset. Okay. So anyway, you've got on the Caspian Sea, you've got Iran to the south. You've got Azerbaijan a little bit to the north there on the northwest, Russia. And then on the other side of the Caspian Sea, you see Turkmenistan here, and this is Kazakhstan. So now we are talking about Central Asia, and the map of the war of all the countries affected has just gotten a lot bigger, because if there have been attacks, and I don't know why, we have no information, but we just saw a report, reported on the Israeli news that Israel attacked 5 ships, and I don't know if they said army or not, but 5 ships, Iranian ships, in the Red Sea. You know what? What am I doing relying on that news? I should open Telegram. Oh my God. Why didn't I do this before? Wow, do they not have it either? This is unbelievable. This is how breaking news, because in the meantime, there are, as I was hitting go for this live stream, nonstop sirens up in the north, and apparently a lot of attacks from Hezbollah. In fact, a Hezbollah rocket or missile just went all the way from Lebanon to the Gaza border. And we'll look at that too. Since we're on a map, why don't we look at that? Because that is the longest range missile that was launched during this conflict so far. So here you go. Here's Israel. Here's the Gaza Strip. Not big at all. 2 million people live here. Okay, Lebanon up here. Here's Lebanon. So somewhere here. And by the way, the Israeli military has pushed Hezbollah north. So I don't know from where they shot it. None of this information, I haven't received any of this information yet. But from up here all the way to here. Now, mind you, most of the area under fire is northern Israel. So this area up here from Haifa and through where this type where it says Tiberias, this is the Sea of Galilee or the Kinneret. All of this area up here is mostly under fire. Many of these people on the border, where you can see all my Google mapped places that I've been. I've got to find a way to not reveal my locations or my favorite places. But anyway, up there, they have about 15 seconds to get to shelter. And they have been under attack all day. Now, last night, we talked about a rocket barrage that was supposed to be launched at Israel. And I even put like a very not on purpose clickbaity title because it was actually true, because we were actually sitting under the anticipation of this barrage that was going to be coming through. Now, I personally didn't think that in Jerusalem it was going to reach here. So it's not like I was worried about this, but for an hour, there were nonstop rockets coming over. And in the end, I think the count was, according to Israel, was 40. But also according to Israel, they say, and I don't know how to verify this with Hezbollah, but they said that Hezbollah had planned 100 rockets and missiles to go over to be launched that evening. But when they got the intel, this is the Israeli army. They said when they got the intel, they began targeting missile launchers of Hezbollah, like all around the southern Lebanon area. So that's what they credit for having like fewer launches. And so it was less than half of what they had anticipated. And also, Israel has been. Why am I getting a bunch of messages now? Okay, anyway, a bunch of what was I saying? I got like a million messages and I thought that I was getting rocket alerts. Anyway, all that to say, it didn't transpire. And Israel has been, since they got that intel, attacking various areas in Lebanon. So I said there's two interesting fronts to watch, and that, believe it or not, is Iraq and Lebanon. And those are going to, but now the Caspian Sea. May I add that you should also now know where is the Caspian Sea and why it's important. Oh my gosh, I should tell, where can I find you guys a map of the trip corridor? Because when I was in Armenia last year, I'm looking this up to see if I can find a map. Yes, I can find you guys a map. That's awesome. Okay. So when I was in Armenia last year, I did a kind of a deep dive on what the deal was. And by the way, hello also to, and if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, but I see Bethany as well, and Glory V, that's a cool name, and Walter, thank you for joining. In Armenia, I did this deep dive into the Trump plan, the Trump agreement that he got Azerbaijan and Armenia, a whole long story, to sign a deal. And we have to look at this map here now, why it is important, why this deal was important. Why did Trump send his vice president, or he had the president and prime minister of Azerbaijan and Armenia respectively come to the US and sign a deal and make peace. There's a whole backstory. I'm not going to get into the history of Azerbaijan and Armenia, but let's put it this way. Most people in America wouldn't even know how to locate these on a map. So what was the American president doing? Suddenly very interested in negotiating. Oh, can I make this bigger? If I make this bigger, do you guys see, Tony, do you see me enlarging this? Or have I just enlarged it for myself?
Like this.
No, I enlarged it and you don't see it enlarged. Okay, that's just too bad. Okay, so we've got to look carefully, guys. I'm sorry I can't make this bigger, but you see Armenia, follow it down, the dark green nation there, to that small green line there. That represents 26 miles. 26 miles. Okay. So now Azerbaijan's all in red, right? Azerbaijan and Armenia, no diplomatic relations. Now you see next to Armenia to the left or the west is Nakhchivan. That is actually Azeri land. That's part of Azerbaijan, or it's an Azerbaijani enclave. And because there are no diplomatic relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia, there's no access from Azerbaijan to Nakhchivan. They have to somehow like fly to Turkey and then go there, something like that. And also, now what's south of all of these areas that I'm talking about? What is just south? That is Iran. So that is why this is a big deal. All right, here's Iran. And of course, you've got to the east, the Caspian Sea. Now, when I interviewed several people in Armenia about this issue and the trip corridor. The trip corridor is the Trump Road for International Peace and Prosperity. And he negotiated that. You see that like electric green line of 26 miles at the southern tip of Armenia. That's between Armenia and Iran. And it is what is going to connect Azerbaijan to Nakhchivan and then beyond that to Turkey. And then we're going to go back to my favorite thing, the map. Let's go back to the map. We're going to go back to, sorry guys, now I have to go back to the region, which let's go to the Caspian Sea again. There we go. Okay. So if you look over here at this right here, this little bit where it says Megri, and that's Armenia, and here's Iran. Azerbaijan, which has like a lot of resources, cannot get through to Turkey and the rest of Europe. But now with this road that will eventually be built, thank you, daughter. With this road that will eventually be built, they will get their goods through. Oh my word. Yeah, she is. Here. And so sorry, she keeps calling. But all right, right before I went to Armenia, sometime in October, November, something like that, Kazakhstan, here, let's zoom out. Kazakhstan joined the Abraham Accords. So the Abraham Accords is this Trump administration brokered normalization agreements between Muslim nations and mostly Muslim nations, Arab nations, with Israel. Like, for instance, the UAE, Bahrain, Morocco also joined. Sudan did, but didn't. We ignore that. I'm not sure. And then Kosovo, I think, as somebody else. And then Kazakhstan, out of left field, Kazakhstan joined. And then somebody was telling me that Kazakhstan has like amazing natural resources, including like, I don't know if it's oil or whatever. Anyway, a pipeline. They will be able to get their stuff shipped to Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan will be able to ship it then through Armenia, and then it will go to the rest of, as you can see, Turkey and the Middle East. So basically, it's like this expansion. It's like basically connecting the Abraham Accords from here, down here where Israel is, all the way up here now to Central Asia. Basically, that road is an economic engine that is going to give access from Central Asia to the rest of the Middle East, to the Caucasus, the Middle East, and then on to Europe. And it's actually like this typical, like, somebody who thinks like business, but like checkerboard, like thinking, or chess, like always thinking ahead, how many moves ahead. That 26 miles of land that was that was contested, that was, I mean, it's still Armenia, it's still going to be part of Armenia, but it's a place like they couldn't get through, and nobody could get through, and this a lack of an agreement was blocking them from getting through. Now it's going to open up to international commerce, so that's pretty insane. And that is what a lot of people believe was the impetus for Trump going to make a deal with two countries that most Americans didn't even know were at war, actually. So now, as I said, and again, I would love to check my phone and all my channels.
This is my phone.
Oh, my phone. Yeah, it can be my phone, not your phone. So I got all my insider stuff. Not really insider, but to see if there is anything about the Caspian Sea right now. If I got any other updates, because they ended the news. It was the last thing. Reports of an attack in the city of Bandar Anzali in northern Iran on the coast of the Caspian Sea. I don't know if this is, I can't trust this guy, so let me not use that. Except we're actually, see, wow, I can't use it. I can't use it. I can't tell you. I cannot read the stuff because I cannot confirm it. Yeah, and anyway, that was it. That was the last thing. There's a guy I do trust, but by the time I translate it all, never mind. Sorry, just can't do it. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm absolutely fascinated. So now, why? All right, I do not know why Israel attacked any ship or port or whatever in the Caspian Sea. I don't know the results of that. I don't know what the strategy was behind that. Was there some kind of um, like aggravation that made it happen? Was this part, or was this like a plan, part of a strategy? I really don't know. But all I know is that now we're looking at an expanded war, that, or at least like territorial so far, that we already have said that 15 nations are somehow involved in this, 15 or 16, depending if you count Syria. But if, depending how far this goes to the Caspian Sea, will it impact and or draw in Central Asia? And I think, if I am correct, Turkmenistan might be an Iranian ally, but don't quote me on that. I need to check. But Kazakhstan is an Israeli ally because they joined the Abraham Accords. By the way, they already had diplomatic relations. So the whole thing with the Abraham Accords was really weird. Like, it wasn't like, it was like, we're already friends, but instead of being just friends on Facebook, now I'm going to get your number, like that. Like, they went from Facebook friends, like, oh, I think I know the person or whatever, to like, oh, I have your number on my phone. Like, that's really all it did, or something. So anyway, so
It's an Iranian naval ship.
an Iranian naval ship. I thought that's what it said.
So it's apparently how the Iranians and the Russians, I guess, I mean, they were back then 2022 drones that were sent from, I think, Iran to Russia, and then there's arms coming from Russia to Iran. And now by blowing up these ships, I guess they're blocking Iran from getting maybe weapons from Russia or something like that.
Who's blocking?
Well, with these attacks,
They're cutting off
them.
their source to
So
Russia.
right,
All right, because Russia is the northern
right.
side of the Caspian Sea, and Russia is a pipeline for all, like, for so many things to Iran, including resources, intelligence, weapons, etc. So also, who is now, they're piping out oil from Iraq through Turkey now, so they don't have to worry about Iran's oil. By the way, I just heard that too. Yeah, so Tammy says, I heard something about Cyprus, but maybe that was from you. Well, I have talked about Cyprus, that Cyprus came under attack. There were sirens, Iranian drones were targeting, I think, British warships there that were supposedly going to join the American Israeli effort. But there, I don't know if there was damage. I don't think there were deaths, and I don't think anything has happened recently from there. And also, Ohan says the time has come for the EU to make a new NATO because Ginger Man is bullying all the countries. That is, I'm sure, the perspective of many across Europe right now. I heard that his spokeswoman, Carolyn Levitt, was saying today, well, we're not the ones who use the Strait of Hormuz. You guys do. So you guys need to step up. Anyway, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. Honestly, like, there's enough going on the land that I have not been able to yet grasp the Strait of Hormuz. So, yeah. There have been a lot of rocket barrages. And in fact, since the time that I did my last live, there, you guys know that yesterday there were two major assassinations that Israel carried out in its air raids. And the fact that Israel has this kind of intelligence, that they know where these leaders are located. Like, we're talking like somebody steps to the front after, like, there's an assassination, somebody steps forward, then they get killed. So it's like they seem to have very good intelligence right now in Iran, better than they had in much closer regions. From recent history. So what? Stefan just said there's what do you call it on the way? Missiles on the way. Okay, I don't have any alerts yet, but keep me posted. We got a few minutes. Okay, so thanks, Lucas. Neither did I. Okay, so last night, so the two assassinations, there was the head of the Basij, Gholam Reza Soleimani, and then the second in command, but the de facto leader of Iran, Ali Larijani, where he was also killed yesterday in these targeted strikes. And and then today, I think at least Israel says that the head of the IRGC, not the head, but the head of something in the IRGC, was killed. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, got it. Oh my gosh, we might get sirens. Oh, you guys are in for fireworks. Like, you can't script this. You can't script it.
We might get sirens?
Yes. Azul Yerushalayim. I just got the news alert because they're not even on the news anymore. Oh my gosh.
I'm looking up.
זיהו שיגורים מאיראן, אזעקות צפויות באזור ירושלים.
Well, hopefully it's this for the night.
Okay, well, thank God it's earlier, because last night. So anyway, let me do this quick.
Do it quick.
Let me do it quick. Larijani was killed. Israel said it like from the morning hours. They said, we did it, we know it, we confirmed it. Iran did not confirm it for the whole day, like for 12 hours. But when they finally did, it was like maybe 11 o'clock at night. It was after I did this broadcast, and it was maybe like 11 o'clock at night. And then they, within the hour, they launched a barrage of missiles at Israel, and millions, I think, like from Jerusalem all the way to Tel Aviv, like very wide, large area of the country, and sent millions of people to bomb shelters, um, and and there was a lot of damage. Many either actually I still haven't even, what do you call it, confirmed if it was missile or shrapnel, but 2 people were killed. They were not inside the bomb shelter. I am still not clear if they didn't make it to the bomb shelter in their building or what, but they were a couple in their 70s and they were killed. Parents, grandparents, and anyway, so though we haven't had deaths from missiles here in a couple days, there has been damage. Now, for Emily, who just joined, I will just let you know that Israel holds the information and they slowly leak it out after. The Ben Gurion Airport, 3 planes were damaged by an Iranian missile. Now, this was several days ago. We don't know what day. We don't know which barrage, but that's how they operate. When it starts getting close to definite targets, as opposed to just civilian areas like the couple that was killed, so that has nothing to do with anything. But when it starts getting close to these areas, to actual targets, defense, military, whatever, if there is damage, you don't hear about it right away. And so now it was finally released for publication that there was damage to the to a couple of planes at the airport. Now, private planes, not El Al. Right. And yeah, so anyway, so that's funny. Yeah. So they're telling me to leave the camera on if the sirens go off. Well, I'll put it this way. We haven't received an alert or anything. So I don't know what's happening. It could be so anticlimactic after all that. Don't jinx it. What did I say? Like, I said something that got Siri's attention. No Siri. Okay. So anyway, there's a whole other topic I have to cover. Hold on. Let me get my notes, because this is actually insane. This was like hours ago, that was the big news. And now it's like no longer the big news. It's still the big news, actually, but it's all the big, like it's all the big. Everybody's like even now. I don't know what to tell you. Caspian Sea, oil fields, electricity, it's all big. Okay, so what is this that I have here? Hold on, I just pasted my notes here so you guys don't have to suffer as much. Okay. I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Israel and America attacked today natural gas field in South Pars. I hope it's Pars. Maybe it's Fars. Maybe it's Pares, but I think this is translated from another language. So in Iran. And this is having repercussions through the region. Also, something else is having repercussions through the region. Hold on. There's sirens going off where? In the south. Okay. So maybe we're we'll leave you guys hanging. You're not gonna, no excitement for you guys. Seems to have gone south of here. So, okay. Okay. So then that was, everything's backwards. Okay. Bear with me. You need to wait for when I get past that. It's all out of order. I love this guy. This one analyst that I follow, he said, he's like, the war that hasn't yet started is what he's calling it, because he thinks it's going to go on for a while. Okay. And he says, he goes, every day they add like another 2 weeks to the war. Like I reported the other day that that they estimated another 3 weeks, and then since then, the what do you call it? Like some army guy, I think I said yesterday, like somebody in the army said that he thinks they have another 6 weeks worth of targets. Okay, so let's go back to, I found my notes. Okay, so there was an attack on a gas field. I think this Pars, South Pars. So then when that happened, Iran called for an evacuation on in several of the Gulf states, in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, another one in Saudi Arabia, and two in Qatar. And they said these sites have become direct and legitimate targets and may be attacked in the coming hours. By the way, this was several hours ago, and I haven't been able to check because I was in an interview and oh wow.
You could hear the.
Is that thunder? It is raining.
Well, they said, oh, now we don't know.
Now we don't know if it's thunder or interceptions. But anyway, if you heard it, you heard it. Okay. Thunder or interception? What do you say?
Thunder.
We'll go with thunder.
I think it's interception.
You think so?
I think it's thunder.
All right. We should all put money down on it. Okay. Okay. So then. All right. I didn't have time to fully understand this. So you're going to have to bear with me and help me understand this as we go along. That apparently whatever they struck there has stopped the gas flow from Iran to Iraq. And the Iraqi Ministry of Electricity announced that Iran has stopped supplying gas to Iraq in recent hours. According to the ministry, already in the first hour after the cessation of Iranian gas flow, Iraq lost electricity output amounting to 3,200 megawatts of electricity. A serious electricity crisis is unfolding in Iraq now. Now, this is interesting because Iraq has been I said yesterday, like, watch Iraq, keep your eyes on Iraq, because the only, except for Hezbollah, the active proxies of Iran are in Iraq. They are the only ones that are getting involved right now. Like we're waiting for the Houthis. Well, Hezbollah is just very low regional and in Lebanon, and they're just fighting Israel. So it's just between like Israel, Hezbollah. But what's happening in Iraq is also involving the Americans. And there are a lot of very active militias there. And they've been attacking U.S. facilities, especially the embassy in Baghdad, over the last couple of days. So now this is interesting that Iraq is going to have electricity issues. So anyway, I mean, I'm giving you raw information. This is like we report, you decide. Sorry, I'm going to steal that from Fox because I don't know what to tell you. I'm like processing it as I go along. Now, I don't know if this is connected. Oh my gosh. Why is he putting on shoes? Because he heard the boom?
He was just outside.
Or did anybody tell him?
Oh, yeah, he's looking. He likes to
Oh
watch.
my gosh. So Daniel, who is our child with special needs, is actually putting on, I guess he heard the thunder and he thinks that we're in for, well, we think it's thunder and that we're in for a siren, and he's getting himself ready to go to the bomb shelter. So anyway, all right. Oh, you guys did hear it. Yeah. Oh, Stefan said no, there were explosions. No. Yeah. What? Raya says thunder. Okay. Yeah. So Daniel's getting ready for the shelter. Daniel. Yeah. This is going to be a crazy night. Oh my gosh. I really don't know what it is, but okay. So do you know if there are any cameras pointed to the sky to watch missiles connected? No, but wouldn't that be a great business just to have like My mother-in-law lives across from the Mount of Olives, and I always was like, just put like a webcam there, charge people like $5 a month, and they can just have it like constantly filming live. Here's the Mount of Olives, like waiting for the return of Jesus. And people can buy like a $5 a month subscription.
That's true.
I'm only sharing this because you can't steal it because it's her house. Okay, can't steal the idea. So let's go back. So anyway, let me see if I can find. Oh, that was all my stuff about energy. I was so psyched about energy because I think it was like, wow, this is such a big deal. And now I don't have enough information to make a big deal out of it. I just have to tell you guys the basics, and I think it's actually going to be a big deal. So I don't know. In the meantime, another thing I was going to say, and I think I'm going to wrap up with this, but that's we talked about the barrage that was not last night, and yet I saw so many incoming sirens today from the north that it almost looked like it was a delay of 24 hours, that they were barraging today instead of yesterday. And I don't have numbers about how many weapons were, fired, whether it was drones, a lot of drones, and a lot of also a lot of rockets and missiles. And like I said, if you missed it in the beginning, there was one, the longest range that Hezbollah has shot so far in this conflict, that it went from somewhere in Lebanon to the Gaza border. So that's the longest range one that they've pulled out yet. Now, Iran is using some really nasty missiles shooting at at Israel. They're using cluster bombs. So it's like a warhead that when it gets into the airspace, the head of it like opens up, and there are dozens, I think, of smaller bombs that then go and they spray, like they look like fireworks. It's kind of actually a beautiful sight. They spread apart, and then they just all go out in different directions and do their damage. And so that happens. And then there's another one that is I think like the largest and heaviest missile that they have recently pulled out of their arsenal. I think it's a ton. And I guess that would make sense because the US used for the first time a bunker buster bomb that's 5 tons. And they used that yesterday, they said, to target a missile facility in, I think, southern Iran. So anyway, like a lot of stuff. Like, you would think you would run out of things to say. I was actually worrying, it's going to get repetitive, and yet it's like, no, it keeps twisting. It's like Game of Thrones. Like whoever you started with in season 1 didn't even exist by season 5. Many twists along the way, and the especially specifically with the Caspian Sea. Now, I'm interested to see if this was a one-off, or if this is an escalation, and then if it will draw in Azerbaijan or the Central Asian nations. It's who knows? Like it's all open right now, and we have no idea what is going to happen. But let me promo this again. I interviewed today an expert on Iran. He works with a think tank that researches Iran. He specifically was assigned to research the Ayatollah. He never really got to use the research as much as he wanted to, though, because he's already being spoken of in the past tense. So anyway, we covered a lot of things. We just covered the impacts that the targeted assassinations are having on the governmental structure of Iran. We talked about the drone strategy of attacking the checkpoints, who Iranians really want to to lead the next government, but how he knows that, and really, what are people thinking? Like he came with receipts. He brought the facts, and so it was really interesting. And I will probably be uploading that tomorrow, but you really need to stay tuned. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to just make sure that you get a notification of when that's coming out, because that is, like, I was mind blown. Like, he used names that I never heard of, and he really went into like the history and the reasoning behind what we see today that we don't necessarily understand. So it was great. It was illuminating. Okay, so that is it for tonight, I guess. Thank you so much for joining and being part of this. I am now going to go watch something really funny because Eretz Nehederet is on right now.
They attacked 5 ships, Iranian ships.
Tony wants to tell you that they attacked 5 Iranian ships. I thought that's what it said on the news. It did say that.
That's it?
It did say that, and they did say naval. So the Navy's being attacked in the Persian Gulf or in the Strait of Hormuz, and then up there.
A big natural gas thing in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia.
But
So
they knocked it down.
they tried to attack it, but they didn't
Right.
get it, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And then
If
that's
somebody said Laila Tov Lishon Chazak, I will try to. I hope
Who
so.
is that, William?
I don't know, but I will try to. That's hilarious
All right,
because last night we didn't. We had a siren at after midnight and then before 8 a.m.
There was
Or did we not have a siren?
twice in a row.
Yeah. You're right. We had
Yeah,
2.
two,
Ah,
two.
that's right.
We
So
stayed in the bomb
I
shelter,
think I
remember?
interrupted myself before, but when Iran announced that Larijani was definitively eliminated, within the hour I did say this, missile barrage, but that it was very damaging, by the way. Like in Tel Aviv, like not just the 2 people that were killed, but there was also a train station was damaged. I mean, that building, the house where those people live, like that apartment building is definitely demolished. By the way, I also want to say that the what is going rampant right now is, I'm sure you've heard of the rumor that is Benjamin Netanyahu alive. And I have had people message me from around the world saying, "Oh, when's the last time you saw him? When do you know?" And I'm like, it's not even in the news here. Now, he did a video just 2 days ago saying, yeah, the rumors of my death are greatly exaggerated. And he went to a coffee shop, bought a coffee, drank a coffee, and was like, yeah, I'm great. I'm good. And then people are saying, no, that's AI. It's not real. And everybody's trying to prove that it's not real. Also reports that Itamar Ben-Gvir, who is a member of Knesset and a minister of national justice, that he is killed or injured. And none of that here.
Head of Mossad,
Head of Mossad.
Bibi's brother.
Lots of people. I mean, and so so in answering this, did Mike Huckabee, he did a video with Netanyahu, but how do you know that's not AI, Stefan? How do you know? I mean, I'm just kidding. But I was saying, like, I don't know. I can't prove. I mean, I saw a video of him, but I can't, and then I was like, and then I'm going to start to sound like Tucker Carlson. So maybe I just better off saying nothing for now. Anyway, I'm going to say nothing now for the rest of the night. I'm done. Okay. This was fun. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good and quiet night wherever you are. And did you want to say something?
Yeah, you're not going to see them next time. Next time you see them tomorrow is going to be.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you for joining. And